This is the luckiest run I've ever had, and I wasted this chance so hard. So here's a quick commentary video so you can all laugh at my failure to get a quadruple world record in this game. So you might have missed it, but I looked at the map for 0.25 seconds so that I could process it while the next text comes up. And the reason I do this is to look for scrapyards near the beginning, since the earlier I can remove cards from my deck, the easier it is for me to kill enemies quickly. An added bonus is, of course, to have as many of the question marks on this route as possible, because that means I can skip fights. Next, I have to either remove 2 cards or get Jettison Hatch as a common artifact. Removing 2 cards makes the first fight quicker, so that's usually the safer option. Here is my first mess up. I'm about to use Draw Shot instead of Lunge, which means I can't use EMP Slug to disable the shields. This means I will have to deal 2 more damage, and it'll cost me 3 seconds because it will take a whole nother turn. And my second mistake here is moving 1 to the side without having another dodge, which means I won't be able to deal damage unless I get the basic dodge next turn. And then I use a basic shot instead of a double shot, because I somehow forget that I only have 1 energy left, which didn't cost that much time, but was still really stupid. Luckily, Fate feels sorry for me and decides to give me a Charge Beam. Each of these cards have a 20% chance of being uncommon, and if they're uncommon, they have a 1 in 21 chance of being Charge Beam, which is the card I need. Then I get this event, which is super lucky. However, I'm stupid enough to pick Sharp Edges, which did save me a few times in this run. However, I shouldn't have picked it because every time it activates, it's, I think, a 0.5 second delay. So for every future fight, I am essentially losing at least 1.5 seconds. Getting Lock-On would have been a lot better because it deals 1 more damage every time I hit the cockpit. And then I'm really lucky to get Perpetual Motion Device early, because that's the only other artifact I really need to finish this run, because now I can remove every card in my deck and just play Charge Beam for the fastest kills, and if I hadn't picked Sharp Edges. But then luck doesn't stop there, because I get the Grandma event, which lets me remove a card for free. This means I only have to remove a single card to be able to play Charge Beam multiple times a turn by using Charge Shot. However, for this fight, I still can't do that. Wispo is also one of the worst fights when speedrunning, because Wispo is so slow. Luckily, I am pretty strong already, so it doesn't take too long. And here you can see the combo in action. Since I have a lot of health, I'm not too worried about taking damage, because I will heal up after this boss anyways. And here I am super lucky again. Simplicity is basically the artifact I want here, because it lets me remove 2 cards, and that's the key to getting the best combo going. However, Berserker Drive is also really good, and I don't notice Simplicity until I already click Berserker Drive, because, you know, I'm trying to go fast. And though Berserker Drive does let me fight some of these next enemies pretty quickly, getting to only having Charge Deck in my deck earlier would be so much better. And I skipped over a few fights here because they're not that special, but if you want to see them, you can watch the full run on my channel. However, my super amazing luck did not end here, because I get Jettison Hatch. This lets me get rid of 2 cards per shipyard, which obviously is really good when I want to get rid of almost every card in my deck. Here I go for another boss. I don't know why, when I already have all the artifacts I need. And I make my mistake even worse by picking up Caffeine Drive, which would be really great in a regular run. However, I believe it might cost a tiny bit amount of time every time I shuffle my discard deck, which is every time I draw from my deck because I don't have a deck. But despite this, I fight the boss and win. Here again I do another mistake, which is choosing Warp Drive instead of Blast Cannon, which would have let me end all the fights in 1 turn less, basically. The rest of these fights are a breeze. I managed to get rid of my last card in my deck, and I do fumble a little bit on the 2 remaining space yards, because it's a bit difficult to skip it because you have to like press no and then you have to press yes. However, I think that at most cost me like 1.5 seconds, so shouldn't be too big of a deal. And I'm at the last boss here, and I know that I'm about to get the world record because the world record is 5:45, and I am currently at 5:30. I overshoot a little bit, but it doesn't cost that much time, maybe like 0.2, 0.4 seconds. You can see how much time Sharp Edges is costing me here. I click Shard Shot as fast as possible. I kill it. I just need it to go to white before the clock ends, and I will have my world record. But no, I'm 1 second too late. The world record is 5:44. I get 5:45. I wasted the most amount of luck I will probably ever have, and I have done over 2,000 loops of this game.